And I mentioned it last week, guard is kind of just upside down mount. That's one way to think of it. So it's nice to think how close we are to being mounted when we're in this seemingly bad position, but this is one of the ways there. So feet down, side bend. That's really just so it's easy to get up over my arm without using my abs too much. My fingers point backwards here just so if I get a little pressure into me that I can bear that, you know, which I cannot do like this. So I'm here, my hips are gonna come up. I'm already like getting ready to sort of point these toes so I can roll over that shin as a hinge. Connect his arm to me, my hips hit him in the sternum, turn him over, and we land here. One person last week mentioned that they spiked their knee. It was Taylor, I think. And I don't mind, in fact, later I'm going to advise you guys, that at the end of this move, when I bump him over, that I don't go straight to my knee anyway. So it's okay with me, in fact, it's better than okay with me, because later I'm going to tell you not to go to your knee, if you go to your foot first. So check it out. What I mean by that is, I'm going to bump him over. 1, 2.
Gotcha.
Okay. And you can see that I threw him over and I landed here without putting my knee down. But that if I had been coming this way, you know what to do to knock me over if I do this? If I come to my knee and he bumps and rolls me, yeah, he's going with the momentum. Whereas, so I'll show you a whole one. Like, if I make the mistake of going straight to my knee, boom, go to my knee, boom. Now it's like an old Western movie where we roll around in the
Tumbleweeds.
like a couple tumbleweeds. Yeah. And that can't happen. So this is an improvement on what you did last week. That can't happen if I have a kickstand. So when I land, bump, kickstand, he can try as hard as he wants to roll me. He can be as big as we want. Size difference. Kickstand is good, and then your knee. You do want your knee down eventually, so it's just a 1 count. 1. And then you can go to here. Okay, so let's do the bump sweep. 3, 2, 1. So bump sweep is for a particular situation, and that situation is usually not him hunched way over me. Right? If he's hunched way over me, then it's like, oh, now I can't get up. There's like, you know, a person in the way. Bump sweep is really for not only when he's not over me, but when he's so when he's back. So not only when he's back, but when he's backing, which is a verb, not an adjective, right? When he's backing up. So for example, if I had grips and he was resisting them, yeah, he was pulling backwards. That's a perfect time because he practically throws himself. Okay, so we talked about that if you were here last week, but just like when do we do that move? Okay, so that must mean that there's a sweep that's better for a situation when a person is sort of hunched over me, like in my airspace. Yeah. Okay, so if you look at the difference when you're sitting, well, I kind of just said it. When he's here, he's like sitting, right? And even though the most immediately noticeable feature when he's here is he's in my way to sit up, if I think about it, or if we think about it together, the difference in his base is that he's not sitting, right? And now he has, and anytime this is true, and I'm going to point this out a lot of times when we're doing jiu-jitsu, anytime the big clunk of bone, which is his pelvis, is resting on top of two, his legs, his upper legs, but not on his heels. Like it's not seated on the ground. It's actually up in the air. It's like a water tower with only 2 legs. Then this is actually like a pretty sweepable position. So I'm going to recommend you don't do a lot of your butt off your heels when you're in somebody's guard, right? So every time I talk about offensive, you can be thinking about defense a little bit. So yeah, probably bad to be a water tower with 2 legs, which is essentially what he is when he's forward. So I'm gonna take advantage of that in the sweep that I do today. So we are gonna use the gi for grips. So I'm gonna put one hand in his collar, just like I'm doing a choke, which some of you have done with me. But if I put one hand in the collar, I'm gonna skip the whole choke thing because I'm not gonna teach the choke today, but he should put his hand on my bicep. This one. Yeah, because I can't choke him with one hand. I cannot choke him with one hand. I need to. So if he's not here, if he's not here, I would shoot the second one in and I can finish a choke here. And knowing that, a savvy partner, which is going to be you guys, will just put his hand on my bicep. Now I can't get this one in here. Yeah, if I come in here, he closes. If I go over here, he follows. So there is no way for me to get it. So I lost the choke, but I have this nice grip. I can use that, and I can hold on to his material here. So I get a horizontal grip of his material here. You see what I mean by horizontal on his arm?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't grab quite like that, but this will be a nice strong grip actually. So I grab here, and now he's blocking my choke, but I have his arm.
Yeah.
And if he wants to get it away from me, that's okay. He can pull it away, but he's opening himself up to a choke. So it's sort of like it's a chess game. When I do this, he does this because he has to, and then I launch my next offense, which is this. So I'm here. Okay. So all I did so far really was 1, he goes 2, and I go 3. And now I'm gonna have you guys open your legs like you did before. Shoot your hip out a little bit and get your legs into a scissor position. And I'm gonna say in this case, for scissor sweep, which is the name of the sweep that we're gonna do today, I want you to know that scissor sweep comes from the scissor position I put myself in, not from a scissoring action. Because I cannot sweep, if I can't sweep Matt, I probably can't sweep Joe, I think we'll agree, with a scissor ring. But it's a scissor position, so I'm gonna get into this position here, okay? So we started here, his butt's off his heels, and I'm gonna go 1, he blocks, that's 2, I'm gonna grab some material here, that's 3. So I got my 2 grips, and now I can, for our purposes today, just as an intro to scissor sweep, I'm gonna put my feet on the ground, shoot my hip backwards, kind of like when we shrimped today, shoot my hips backwards, and I'm gonna make a scissor position here. So I have